Hello. Hello.
You're in, Jim. Just be quiet. We start the show, mate.
Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Officiating, on the show this evening as the one and only Southside and our mate, our Jim. How we doing, gentlemen? Evening to both of you.
Good evening. How you doing? All right, lads?
Good to hear from you, Jim. How's your good self?
No bad, mate. No bad.
No bad considering. No bad considering. Aye. How we doing, Southside?
Aye, good mate. Good to be on the night with your good self and Jim. And I'll just say good evening to the troops on YouTube, Stephen and Philip. It's in there the now, and everybody else out there on Facebook and the mix of Lara that listens in. Good evening.
How we doing, mate? All right?
Sun was out today, wasn't it? So, really that warm you could get the tap off, but I thought, maybe go to shorts tomorrow if it picks up a bit.
Okay, one stage at a time, mate. Yeah, it's no fair, not a woman.
I know, you got to get a tan somehow, don't you, if the weather's going to come out. But it wasn't warm enough yet. But it's good to get a wee bit of sunshine, was it no?
Yes, anything to lift the mood, Jim, eh?
Aye. I'm needing something to lift it in me.
Yes, we certainly are, mate. Right, okay, so, right. Who wants to go first? You want to toss for it?
I'll let Jim go first, because that could be a few moments.
Nearly
got a list like Albert.
If you've got a list like Albert, we'll go straight to the tune when you're finished.
Yeah, I know. No, I'll cut it down to a page and a half. Said that to Albert the last time. He must have been about the 9th page before he started to calm down a bit.
Right, on you go, Jim. The floor's yours, mate. Get it off your chest, mate.
Outside, I'm seeing you saying 9 pages, man. Mine's like an encyclopedia here, mate. Saturday, the whole team. I don't even think you give one of them a pass mark. Even the man who got the player of the year. Again, the first goal. Traps his man again. You know, for the first time this season, the wee man's done that as well. I'm no thinking about anything else. But when did he actually come back into the team? Was it mid-season he came back into the team? You're asking?
No, but October then he was out and then he come back in, you know. I'll get you his exact stats for the season, mate. Yeah, while you're chatting.
So how bad is that on the rest of them when that guy can get player of the year?
It was only choice, if I'm honest, mate. If I'm honest. You know, so... you know, it wouldn't be an accolade I would be too fond of at this moment, you know, but listen, I think you're right, everybody. I gave Raskin pass marks. He was the only one I gave pass marks to, but I did accept he left his man, but I would like to know what and Salah was trying to do, mate. We've got a centre half at Canny Idiot. I don't know if that was right in front of you, south side, or you were the other side of the goal. I didn't notice where the autograph hunters were.
What were you talking about? Sorry, mate, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something else.
He was talking about the first goal we lost. We've jumped.
Oh, the first goal, I seen it, Jim. Shooter, I think, was looking to see if Shooter was behind their striker, NCL in front of him, and I think he thought maybe if he's flinging it a bit higher, Shooter's going to go and try and win the ball. I don't know why he was so tight behind that defender. NCL, mate, honestly, he just lifted his leg and it just hit off him, and it just rolled right out to that O'Hara. Raskin should have been on him. That's his man, and he's drilled it in a goal. It was poor for NCL, if I'm honest. He just lifted the leg.
What was he trying to do?
I don't.
He go idiot, mate.
Well, he let it sort of come down towards his body, and he tried to sort of side fit it away, but it looks at and it's just bounced off him.
Pass it to the penalty spot, innit?
They didn't even hit his foot, mate. To be honest, it sort of rolled along his leg, and the way he's turned his body, it's just rolled out to O'Hara. It was poor.
So I said he's got to come and idiot. Yeah, in that situation, he's got to come and idiot. He's watched it coming down to his midriff, his body. He's got his leg at an ankle height. Step forward and idiot away. Anyway, we'll come in. So the game started. Listen, we didn't start fantastic. We got the ball. Bailey Rice made a couple of decent touches and then get caught in possession. The shape looked as if it was all over the place, Jim. I couldn't work out what Riggerman was trying to play, if I'm honest. And then I thought Diamondi was trying to join in, and then when the full-backs get pushed back, it was actually, we were sitting with a 5-2-1-2, mate. We absolutely no width. I couldn't get it, mate. So we then got a goal out of nothing, but before that, our centre forward had missed a sitter. Give your thoughts on the two incidents, Jim.
Aye, the sitter for Dessers. I mean, I've seen the day, man. 50 games, 24 goals. In any other league, they're probably raving about him. But in the 50 games, it's 3-4 chances a game at minimum, and it's criminal. And as you're saying there about Igmani, man, I think we spoke about it the other week. That boy's not getting played up the top. There's no point in playing him because it's not happening for him.
I thought he was very, very poor at the weekend. Nothing he'd done come off, and when you're a guy that tries something that doesn't come off outside, you can look poor, can't you?
Aye, tried a couple of wee nutmegs and all that and all, and Saturday didn't come off. I think he done one, but a few he tried after that didn't come off. Doesn't really look too comfortable up there playing in a two sort of wide, but listen, you need to adapt to positions sometimes, and you might get moved out in favour of Brett's international team on a regular basis and might ask him to play further out. So he needs to learn, but no, poor for him, poor for Dessers. He done the hardest thing. It was a nice ball for Diamandi, just in the ball, and I've looked at it a couple of times back since, and just as it hits the ground, and just took the swipe at it. And it's rose offside, to be honest, anyway. I think the linesman put his flag up, but he should still have hit the back of the net, you'd have thought.
Well, on the TV coverage, mate, I never seen the flag go up. That's all I'll say. I'm not saying he wasn't offside because they never really showed you an angle where you could really judge it. But listen, the way football is just now is you put the ball in the net and you let VAR make the decision, Jim, innit?
Aye. That seems to be the way it's going. The officials.
Aye, it is, isn't it? You never know. There could be somebody on the far side or something. Somebody's come out slow and you don't notice them initially, and you let VAR make the decision. So it was a bad miss. But then the enigma that he is, Southside, the ball gets played up to him. Decent move. Raskin plays it into him. He sort of does a wee shuffle and then puts in the goal.
Aye. It's a nice ball in for Bailey Rice into Raskin. Raskin had picked up a bit of space further on, and Bailey played a nice ball through to him. I think originally when I seen it and I've watched it back, I think he was trying to play it to Diamondi, but whatever happened, it landed at Dessers and he managed to break free and hit it back across the goalkeeper. And it was a decent finish for there. So about 3 passes and we had scored the goal. box, you know. But it was a decent finish, at least he managed to hit the target, and for us it went in. So that's what we thought. It was a decent start. I thought, well done, that's us on the road, but as we see, the wheels come off later.
Aye, listen, it was one of the first bits of football we played in the whole game, if we're honest, Jim, yeah?
Aye, 100%. Sadly, it's scratched their heat time every Monday, every midweek, well, apart from Thursdays. But we'll be glad when we see the back of this season.
Aye, we will. So we gets the goal, mate. We gets the goal. We're 1-0 up. No, the game's starting to move towards half time. They get a throw in, mate, and we've just discussed it. Yeah, I get your point, Jim, about Raskin no going with O'Hara, because that was his man. I don't disagree at all. But and Salah has got to heed of that and clear it, and then it doesn't matter what Raskin's doing south side, yeah.
Aye, but if, like you say, if he just went and took a step forward, they could have planted the head on it, and even if he headed it back out for another throw in or whatever, it wouldn't have mattered. But he's watched it come in, and for whatever reason, he's thought, I can try and go with this with my foot, but he made very little contact, and it basically just hits half him and rolls right into the path of O'Hara, where maybe Raskin at the time would think your centre-backs would deal with it, but you've got to know where your man is, Ox, in the box shouldn't let that happen, and he was miles off him.
Aye, listen, I'm not disagreeing with Jim. I'm not disagreeing it was an error by Raskin at all. What I'm saying is, and Salah's got to do his job, and then it doesn't matter where Raskin's done. It really doesn't matter, and the boy's got to learn. This time in that position, you've got to use the heat, Jim. And that's what he done when he took off at Kilmarnock. He didn't come and clear the ball properly with his head, and then against St Mirren, he got out-bullied. So he's got to, and then you look at him the second half he had in Bilbao, and he can't handle the physicality, because that's what you're going to get in Scotland, Jim.
Yes, 100%. I think we look back at it as well. John Shooter, I think, actually seen it probably happening and tried to step in. I mean, the strikers behind the Salah, man, you're like, man, how is that possibly happening with professional football players and names going for that? It's absolutely mental, and it's just epitomises the way our season's been, with the goals that we've been losing.
We've been doing as another goal that we've gave away south side. The opposition didn't have to do a lot. The throw in went to us. We passed it to them, and the guy put it in the net. You know, it was a poor goal to lose it.
It's terrible, to be honest. Terrible goal to lose. It's a long throw in, we don't deal with it, and it breaks in the box. We are no covering it. We've let one of their men stand free inside our penalty area, and just so happens that it rolls along to him, and he's the guy that sticks it in the net. So, like you say, the NCL should have dealt with it, took a step forward and planted the head on it. Instead of that, it just breaks in our box and they score for it, and it's just poor as normal, is what we've seen all season.
Aye. And by the way, we were lucky, we conceded more goals. You think of the chance when Liam Kelly passed the ball right to the boy. He's got to score, Jim, hasn't
Aye. I'm going to actually bring up something else again once we kind of talk about the game, and it's my regular great one here. The wee guy in the middle of the park again.
The wee guy, he's a clue. Diamonde.
No, the guy who was officiating.
All right, okay, all right. Aye. Well, you didn't have the best of games, but listen, it's not taken away for our inefficiencies, mate. But use your thoughts.
I thought he was terrible. I think it was the guy. I think it was he eventually booked later on in the game. He must have had about a dozen fouls.
Phillips.
Aye, Phillips. He booted people all over that park the whole game, then books them with minutes to go, when he probably should have been off the park. I thought some of his tackles were terrible. Then he books Nico Raskin. Nico Raskin for absolutely nothing.
You think it was a naughty one he left on that Raskin, yeah?
Aye, 100%.
First off, I actually thought that could have went to VAR. But listen, again, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm not want to give this mob any excuses, mate, because the performance was unacceptable. So we'll go to half time, it's one each. And I thought there might be some changes, but there wasn't. So we go again with the same personnel. We started okay without being spectacular, you know, but they were controlling the game better than we were. But we looked dangerous on the attack, but Dessers was just, the ball was bouncing off him. There was one that bounced out for a goal kick for about 18 yards. He tried to control it, and they were out for a goal kick. Shocking play, but then we get a good goal. Raskin bursts forward, Jim south side, bursts forward, keeps going, opens up for him, and he finishes.
It was like similar to the goal we scored in the first half. Suter played a quick ball into Diamande, and he passed it right on to Raskin. And it was like 3 passes, and Raskin got the freedom to run. And I'm thinking, get the edge of this box, maybe try and get a shot off, and he does, and sticks it right in the bottom corner. 3 passes, Suter, Diamande, Raskin, goal. You know, that's how easy it was that we done it. And it was good because Raskin was getting himself into more forward positions. He was quite forward to set up the goal for Dessers in the first half, and then he's getting himself further forward and then finishing the move off his Selocks to make us go 2-1 up.
It was a decent goal, Jim, if we're honest. We critique a lot, but you've got to be honest.
The south side trade. What a difference in a team when we actually get that ball moving quicker. That's what the frustrating thing is for me this season. I think at times we've looked half decent, then it just capitulates.
Aye. Collectively, and errors, and we lost concentration, we lost shape, we get a lot wrong. So we're then 2-1 up, and I must admit, I thought, well, this is going to be an open game. We've got better players, and we might get a third. Then it panned out like that. We just went back, and they dominated the vast majority of the rest of the game, and then the goal they got. Oh, it starts for me with Proper. He comes into no man's land, does nothing. Then it's played in between Suter and Tav, mate, and the boy crosses it in, there's no cover, and the boy just sticks in the goal. There was a check for offside, and the only really showed you it once. I think what they were intimating was the ball had come backwards, so he might have been in front of the player, but he can't be offside because he's behind the ball. But a good goal for their point of view, but a shocking goal for your point of view, Southside.
Well, you know, they knocked the long ball up to the big striker, and to be honest, he's looked to see where his partner was, and he just gave it a wee heat flick, and he brought it down, held off, don't know who it was, and probably Suter or Proper. And once he goes across, he plays it just inside for the boy out in the wing. I thought at first for where we were at our end, he looked maybe more offside the way but for Boston, and when they done the VAR check. I have seen it back and they sort of drew lines in it. It doesn't look great, but at the end of the day, they get a decision. They might look at it as a good goal for them because of the fact that the big boy strikers headed it on to the other boy for him to fire it across to the wing. But for us, they done what they done all day. They won that first header when they fired the balls up against us, and our centre backs couldn't win a ball in the air and couldn't even win second balls at times. And we didn't win the second ball because when he flicks it, it falls to the St Mirren player, and on the second ball he controls it. So they might look at it as it was a good goal and a good build up for them, but I look at it as we should have had 2 chances to try and cut it out. Tav didn't look too clever. He was a bit in the park, wasn't he, and wasn't he sort of further out Ox, but when he drills it across, NCL is in the ring side of the boy as well, and it's a tap in, goal's wide open. You wouldn't expect him to miss, would you? No, but you thought it, Jim?
Aye, see earlier again, caught in the ring side, dilly-dallying back, and the guy's got maybe 2-3 yards on him. It's a tap in for the boy. I mean, but the whole back line, it's an absolute shambles at times.
Aye, I mean, they were poor collectively, individually. You know, there was many of them, including Kelly and that. If you like, the back six, you know, they were atrocious. Their decision making, their winning the ball, their tackling, their positioning. There was none of it right, you know. AK used, once again, was finished. We'd one more chance, I think, when Raskin burst through after that, mate, and put it across the goal, and we never turned it into the net. But the game just petered out, and you could tell that everybody's frustrated. Look, we've had worse results like that at Love Street, or Newson Burn Park, whatever they call it. But look, we're just looking for better, and everybody's frustrated, and you can feel it. Southside.
Aye. I mean, we all pay good money to go to Ibrox and pay for your season books to watch the team. We pay a hefty price in money when we travel away to support the team. And for me on Saturday, the one thing I can't stand and absolutely detest is a Rangers team going out there second best all over the park. And every single position in that park on Saturday, we were second best. And that shouldn't be happening. Aye, maybe, well, the odd player might not win a duel against a player on the day. That you can accept if he comes up against your wingers not going by the left back and he's a decent game. We were beat all of that park on Saturday in every single position on that park. And for me, when you're standing in the terraces, there's 1,444 people were in behind that goal, no an empty seat, and paid good money and got up early to go and watch that. And that's it. And that's the drivel that team put in. Barry sat and told you, he spoke to them individually, this and that. And then when they got across that white line, they all chucked it. And Raskin was the best out of a bad lot. And for me, that's not acceptable in a Rangers jersey. And they want to sometimes support get angry and start giving players pelters when they're coming out of that stadium. Because the least you expect is to try for 90 minutes in a Rangers jersey. You might know of your best game, but you put the effort and application in. Because you've got a responsibility to the club you're selling the support to turn out for Rangers, regardless whether it's a meaningless game or no. St Mirren were all of that part better to a man than we were. And you stand in that Rangers end and watch that for my team is deplorable. Ox. Every one of them should hang their heads in shame, man. I'm telling you, because they didn't put an effort in on Saturday, and we get away with a 2-each draw when we were ahead in that game twice, and yet we still come away with a point. And it's just sickens you that mob, when they're getting paid their thousands of pounds every week, that they're just prancing about there and not putting the effort into it to show the support that goes home and away and watches them week after week. So they better buck their ideas up, because Ibrox will not be forgiven for some of them in their attitude and application, because that's the one thing we always look at. Don't cheat us as a support in a Rangers jersey. Go out there and you try your 100%. That's why it should be, Ox. But on Saturday, they cheated us again.
I don't think it's the first time.
Can I ask? Sorry.
On you go, Jim.
Sorry. Southside, what was the feeling in the terraces at the weekend there? I didn't make it myself, but just in the way you're talking, you're sounding very, very passionate there, and you're not a man that comes across as it's really. I think it seems to be getting to you just now.
They were all raging, mate, because they were all on the Southside Super 6, mate.
Just don't cheat the support. Just don't cheat the support, Jim, with attitude and application. You know, just don't cheat it. Just don't cheat us when we're standing there. Everybody that goes to watch Rangers pays good money. We all sacrifice whatever time you leave in the morning to come to Ibrox or go to an away game. And all we ask for is you go out there and you put 100% in. If we get beat on the day and we're unlucky or we're not good enough, you can accept it. But listen, there was nobody putting in. Raskin didn't go in for a tackle, ended up getting a sore foot out it. Watch Jeffrey pull out a tackle, didn't want to go in for it either. But at least go out and show heart and effort and desire at all times, no matter what the game means. And they don't. And we're the guys that's travelling to support them. And they're just no caring, Jim. And see, that rips my knitting, mate. Honestly, it does.
That 1 year rips my knitting.
The safest thing to say, because I said a lot worse.
You're right.
Explain that for some of the younger listeners. Rips my knitting. Where'd you get that one from?
My granny used to say that when she missed a couple of stitches.
You're spot on, mate. You're spot on. You know, listen, we know AK, I think he summed it up as they're on the beach, and I couldn't have put it any player myself. And look, this group of players collectively, we know it's gone. How many of them are going to be there going forward is up for debate, you know. And they've had moments, you know. They've shown that they're individually they've all had decent games. You know, you can break it down. But collectively, as a unit over the season, mate, if we're really honest, they've been awful, Jim. Awful. Particularly domestically.
Domestically, it's been an absolute shambles. But you can go back. I said, what are we, 15, 16 points behind them? You can go back. Southside can go back, and a lot of these callers can go back. That cluster of games where we've lost, and you can pick holes in every one of it and says, we should have taken the points. That's what's so frustrating about this, more than anything else to me, is the points against the draws. I mean, it's as we think we spoke about it the last few weeks, we're possibly going to do that mob man Durian 3 times this season and one absolutely hee-haw.
Aye, you've got to be consistent. You've got to be up for every game. The first game of the league season away at Hearts, mate. We were slow, we were sluggish. Set the tone, mate. Sets the tone. You know, you're then 2 points. After one game, you're 2 points behind. Yeah, we get beat there quite quickly and you're 5 points behind. And it sets the tone, mate. You've got to start well and you've got to keep going. It's a marathon and a sprint at the same time. That's what a league is. Because the 3 points at the beginning are as important as the 3 points at the end, Southside.
Aye, everything's important from start to finish, Ox, isn't it? It's how you, I mean, I believe you can drop a couple of points, and then, but we've not got a team that showed consistency. We've showed moments, and we need to get consistency built into the team. But now we're at this end of the season, it's just what they're going to turn up and do. But when we've got to get it right, we've been prancing about too long now. Different managers doing different things, different players, different systems. And now we're going back to whatever style we're going to come back with this time again. So we were inconsistent the very first game of the season, and then it's just curtailed it. But the games against them so far in the league, we're 2-1 up. It's the games against the rest of them. And then you've had 2 defeats and a draw to St Mirren in one season, you know, and then you can fling Hibs into that and whoever else, Aberdeen, taking points off us and whatnot. It's just not good enough. That's where the consistency, you've got to be up for all the games. And listen, Barry and all that said it to them all, but whether I've said before, whether they take it in or not, we don't know. But I'm just looking forward now, just to get a bit of good news and see who the manager's going to be. Then we'll have an idea about sort of style and direction that we're going to begin. Because now I don't think the 5's working at the back, and I think it's time he probably just changed it back to the 4. But he probably will now, but I would, because I think we're leaking too many goals for the back 3.
Well, you're supported by the stats, mate. I think there's only once since Barry's been there, mate. We've not lost 2 goals. Well, twice away in Fenerbahce and at home with Bilbao. Every other game we've lost minimum 2 goals. Yeah. You know, so whatever we're doing defensively is no working under we've had moments under Barry and his coaching staff. But if we're really honest, we know the manager left because of bad results, particularly the Queen's Park result. But we're actually regressing in front of your eyes. Now, whether that's because they're on the beach and there's nothing can happen to our position in the league and we can't go anywhere, maybe that's the case. But it's like when somebody puts a notice in at work, mate, they're finished and they're down tools. And maybe there's a few of them with that mindset. I don't know. I'm not saying that's acceptable, Southside. Don't think that for a moment. I'm not. I'm just saying that maybe it's a theory. Jim?
Aye. Aye. You're right, but it's an absolute disgrace that you're saying they're on the beach. We're the ones in the trenches on the terraces, and they're sitting on the beach. Nah, it's totally unacceptable in my eyes. Guys like Southside, I feel worse for you guys, mate. You're there week in, week out. I know guys that go on the Brickton bus and all, they're there, man, through hell and all the rest of it, man. It's absolute, it's sickening that they're earning the money that they're earning. I've said for months and months and months. See, these players are lucky. They're getting away with it. So lucky they're getting away with it.
Sorry, I think the support at the end of the road for him collectively. Look, I don't know how good a player Bailey Rice is going to be. If I base him on Saturday, the boy's definitely got a pass in him. He's definitely got a touch in him. But once again, we've got somebody else who's not particularly mobile, you know. But he's only a boy learning his game, so let's not write him off. Stranger things have happened, you know. We'll get in Salah. If you go back, Southside, it's mental. Second half and best against top players. Guy's an excellent game, but under difficult circumstances. And then you look how he's played domestically. Kilmarnock will be the St Mirren match at Ibrox, and then he's got to learn. But he's young, really young. Jeffy played a lot of games this season. I think I already started more games than anybody else. Jeffy, I don't know if that's true. I need to check that out. But defensively, he's just gone from bad to worse. He's not improving at all, and he's still going forward. Hamza Yusuf. Oh, what's what I'm saying? Hamza Agaman. Great touch. We know he's going to do things, and when it comes off, he's going to be unplayable, and he's going to get people at their seat. You've got to make the right decisions, or people will stop making runs. If somebody runs by you and you don't gear them, people stop running. It's just human nature. It's Hamza, he's not going to pass, but it's a point. You've got to make the right decisions and get it right. Yeah, you don't want to take the flair out and the skill out, but you're still going to get the decision right. So that's the young players. And then we'll move on to the experienced players. Southside.
Yeah, obviously NCL should have been getting helped, along with Suter and Proper on Saturday. And saying that, I've told you before, and I think we spoke half-air like the other day, I said NCL had performances like that in him for the B team. When I watched him, sometimes his passing wasn't great, he was getting caught in things, his decision making. But he came in and surprised me with how well he'd been passing the ball and stuff and doing well since he came into the team, apart from a couple of instances where he's been experiencing letting balls bounce and getting nudged and losing the goal at St Mirren at Ibrox and stuff. Been caught out a couple of times, but he played a couple of nice passes, a couple of nice long balls, but on the whole, it wasn't one of his better games. He's learning, and listen, I can accept a young boy coming into the team maybe making a mistake. I'll accept that because they're learning, and it cost us a goal through his indecision and not clearing the ball. Bailey Rice, I think, done pretty well. The first 5-10 minutes, he played a 30-yard ball right out down the line, and then he played another great pass inside the defender. He had a wee flick to the side to Raskin, I think, in the first half, and he passed the ball to Raskin that managed for him to knock the ball to Dessers to get as a goal. I think he could have done more. I think at the same time the midfield weren't great. We weren't at it on Saturday also, as I said earlier. No player won a duel in that park that they were meant to win against the player they were up against. So I can go with Bailey. Could have done more, but done enough, I think, in the game. For what I've seen, the wee bits and that I think you can work with, and I think given time, Bailey will feature in a Rangers team probably going forward. I'll be down to the new manager, and once we get a style and tactics put in place, then we'll see if these players can actually play like that. And Ignaman, as we've said, through the middle, I believe he's a good asset, but he needs to learn that he might have to run the channels now and again, and he's not got great pace. He likes the ball at your feet where he can come in and turn and he can lay the ball off, but you need that striker that's going to go in behind as well, Ox. And at the moment, he doesn't seem to be. If you look at him and Dessers and their movement, it's totally different. You know, he likes the body feet and turn and maybe nutmeg and whatever, whereas Dessers likes to play on the shoulder, which Ignaman doesn't normally do. So, but Ignaman you can work with unless he gets prized away for X amount of money. But going forward, aye, but we'll need other strikers to help him, because we can't ask for one guy or two guys to carry your whole season in the front line. You need help box. So that's what we need to look for, to help these guys.
Going back to Bailey Rice, and look, I'm only talking about on Saturday's performance. On Saturday's performance, he's miles off being a regular in the first team, or he should be. But hopefully the boy will go away and he'll look and he'll think, right, where'd I go wrong? I get caught in possession a couple of times, and after that, I pretty much faded out the game. You know? Yeah, Southside point.
Honestly, wasn't Diamante was worse than him on Saturday.
I was just going to
right, we're talking. It's all right picking a young boy at 18 saying he needs to do this and he needs to do that. I understand all that, but he needs help, and you should be getting the guidance and the help for the pros in front of you. You know, it was a game where our team never turned up and won a duel, and you can't really blame Bailey for that. I think the 30-yard pass he pinged and stuff he done all right, but he needs to do better. I get it, but he showed he's got that in his locker.
Aye, listen, mate. Diamante, mate. I think he spent more time in his backside, Jim, didn't he?
Aye, want to point and blame everybody else. See, regarding the Bailey Rice situation, yeah, I know you're saying there about the season pro should be helping them, but so should the management. Because Ferguson's commented on it a few times about him not being ready and all the rest of it. Well, if he's not ready, then why is he putting them in there? It's down to the management team to be helping these boys and the senior pros.
What we got? Tav. Who's the senior pros in that team? On the back four, and Dessers, really. You know, I mean,
you probably see if you're asking enough.
The senior pros, you know, they're a bit older than Bailey. Well, I'm not discarding Bailey. Listen, not the moment, mate, but he's going up to speed now. Listen, a full pre-season by the first team, people have come back and kicked on. Stranger things have happened, and he becomes a better player for it. But I'm only critiquing Saturday's performance outside, yeah.
Aye, you've got to. And as I said, he could have done more, but I think he did bits and bobs. And it's young boys usually come into the team. So I've watched it for years. When the team's winning and it's working, the machine's running, you can bring these boys in. You bring them into a team who, for a man on Saturday, when they walked across that white line, chucked it. They never won a duel. They never showed any heart, effort or desire in that Rangers jersey for us behind that goal. And in my opinion, they were a disgrace on Saturday. But this is what we've seen for this squad, and even this season, they've just went out in certain games. They're not in it for the first half, right through 90 minutes. They play in spurts and here and there, 30 minutes at Easter Road, and then we think, 15 minutes to go, we'll just sort of calm down a bit now. And then we end up going away with a 3-each draw. We go to Motherwell, we don't even start the first half and we're down 2-0. So this squad, they know, has seen it. I expect you maybe get inconsistencies throughout a season, but we've dropped that many points to the dross that it just gets to be no acceptable anymore. So then you start questioning the players and their attitude. And that's what it comes to, because the manager now is telling you he spoke to them, he's told them, he knows what he wants. They go out in the park and they're not doing it. I heard Liam Kelly's interview. I don't know why they're not doing it. And he said that I'm responsible and all because I nearly cost a goal, blah, blah. But he said, we knew what we were today, but for whatever happened when on that part, it never happened, they've never done it. So why are they not doing it? What is the problem here? So we only look at it as a support.
Is it attitude or is it ability? Both.
Well, baby, listen, this squad needed help anyway. So I've said it on here for long enough. The squad wasn't good enough to go right through the whole campaign and compete in all four fronts. We never had it. With the amount of injuries we've took all season as well, it wasn't strong enough. It's nowhere near strong enough, and we know that. It needs at least another 12 players added to that squad. Easy.
Aye. Right, we better get the phone lines open. I don't suppose everybody wants to hear us complaining and whinging and moaning, but listen, I can't take many. In fact, apart from the 2 goals, I can't take any positives out that performance at all. It was appalling. But anyway, we'll get the phone lines open, Jim. Yeah.
Right, let's see if we can maybe break my duck and get a wee caller tonight.
Listen, when Southside's on you, the ladies phoning in, don't you? You know what I mean?
Aye.
Where is?
Don't know if anybody will get through with this technology at the moment.
Yes,
See what you were saying there, lads, about it being attitude or the lack of ability. I'm going more in the attitude.
That's fine, mate.
I've seen enough. I've seen enough.
That's fine.
The ability, but to me, it's down to attitude.
I don't disagree with you, mate, because they've all showed glimpses that they've got ability. Right, get yourselves a mute, mate, and let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
When I was watching that game with 20 minutes to go, that other group of players forget about hunger, desire, or attitude. They look fitter on our side, and that was a concern to me. You know, we can't. All right, we play more games in them with the European one, etc. But we've not played for 2 weeks. Well, 10 days, was it? 10 days. You know, so you can't use fatigue with 10 days break. You know, no chance. You know, they look
that's how it's done.
You know,
done the attitude, didn't it? Done the attitude. They were up for it straight away, you know. Listen, we hardly won a ball in the air every time they fired the ball up to the big centre forward. He was winning it all day long. And all right, sometimes maybe you have to go, right, we're not going to win every one, but we'll win the second ball. But even second balls we weren't picking up. And they were just making runs and getting stuck in, and we were coming off second best all over the park. That's a simple fact. And yet we take the lead twice in the game, and we still can't hold on. And they were at it right to the final whistle, going to try and nick another goal. And to me, we need help in the squad. It needs a bit more, needs a lot better players into the squad. But for that St Mirren team to outwork you and get stuck in about you, and you're no standing up to the challenge, then for me that comes down to attitude and application. And that's what I seen it as on Saturday. St Mirren to chase the game at 2-1 down. They were 1-0 down. They get themselves back in the game. We go ahead and they still fight back. And they were still causing us problems towards the end, and a couple of breakaways we had. But nah, we were second best, mate, on Saturday, and that's just the way it is.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with Jim about the attitude, you know. And if you took Barjami come on, I don't think he touched the ball. I know he came on near the death, and it was 5 or 6 minutes injury time, so he was on the park for 10, 15 minutes. I don't think he touched the ball. I'll be stand corrected if somebody shows me it, you know. Cherny came on the left. I couldn't understand that either. He looked so out of balance. You've got young Curtis who plays there, but then they put him on. We'll get the guy who scored a wonderful equaliser, plays on the left. Hadji, who came on the last game, did he come on this game? Some of the things for the coaching staff have looked bizarre. I just wonder if there's a disconnect that we don't see, and obviously nothing's going to happen. Particularly when some of them know that it doesn't look as if any of the coaching staff will be involved, Jim, going forward.
Aye, interesting. Do you think maybe once this weekend's out, and if we maybe get a result, do you think he'll maybe pop a few of them under the bus? I don't think he'll be one for holding back. If and when his time is, he's going to go. But
I'll give you my take on that, Jim, quickly before you come back, right? Look, if Barry's wanting a career in football management, mate, yeah, there's times when you throw players under the bus and you don't want to get that reputation because dressing rooms will turn against you. Because let's be honest, he's only learning his trade as a football manager because he hasn't done a lot yet. Yeah, and particularly at the higher level. As a player, can't knock him, but as a manager, he's pretty much a novice at the top level, so he's got to learn, and he doesn't want that reputation, mate.
He's not going to want the reputation, but he's going to protect himself because his reputation as it stands now, and management is no looking very great. I mean, I heard the other night there he was saying I want 15 points out of 15. I mean, there he's the eggs in the face right away, but he's dropped 2 out of that 15.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a Super 6, it was a Super 5. Would you have predicted this to get 5-1 Southside over for him?
No. I mean, listen, he's not going to go into management anyway, even when he leaves Ibrox. He'll go back to the ambassador role and that'll be him. He's not going to go to any... He said in an interview, he's not going anywhere else. If it was either... If he was offered the job, he'll take it, and if he's no, he'll go back to ambassador role if it's there for him for next season. That's what I believe he'll do. And it's down to the next manager. We need to get this right. This can't go wrong this time. This has got to be done right. We need to get the right guy in, and we need to have a style and a formation that we're going to be playing as a club going forward, and we get the players to fit that model as soon as the manager's picked, whoever that will be. And that's the philosophy and that's the style it has to be. And it's all right saying that we can tweak it here or there or change it. But players play to systems and styles. They set it out in pre-season and that's how you play. That's why Clement wasn't for really changing it. Probably in time if you'd get better players in the positions. And whatever style the manager picks going forward, I think our next manager will probably play a 4-2-3-1 anyway. So we'll see how that goes. But it needs to get right, and they need to get the right players in, and we need to get going for the dot. And I'm just more interested in winning these trophies in Scotland. This is what we need to get back to, winning our bread and butter. So for me, next season, I don't care if we're in the Europa League or the Champions League. The league title, Scottish Cup and League Cup is important, and that's what we need to get back to winning. And that's straight away. We've had a good run in Europe, and we've put ourselves on the map. And we need to get in there if we can into the Champions League. But for me, domestic games is what's going to be more important for me. We need to start beating these teams when we come back for Europe and playing in European games and winning domestically. And that's what we need to start for next season. And that needs to be the manager's remit for the off to every single player that walks in that door.
Well, carry on, Jim.
I don't want to burst your bubble, brother, but if we go back to the start of Clement's leadership, we all said the same thing. This needs to be hit. This needs to be hit. And it's not happened again. The exact same things have happened, as you said there, which we need to be doing. It's not materialised. It's not happened. Don't get me wrong, I'll go back to last season. I think Rangers could have won the treble. And we could have all been sitting here saying a totally different story. So we could have. We should have won the treble last year. I don't care what anybody says. But we're new back. We're new back.
Carry on, Jim. Carry on, mate.
No, sorry. But as I said there, we should have won the treble last season. We didn't. And we're now back at square one again. I mean, I'm making out all done, maybe you guys, but it seems to be that that's all we're saying. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. But we are. Hopefully, if these guys come in, that it's a totally different attitude in the whole club. It's going to need to be. But I'm going to ask you two guys a question here. Are you prepared to take another season of this?
If I'm honest, Jim, no, I'm no. I think we're all at our wits' end there. I think they know, but I understand that it might, but I'm not so keen on it. I think we should just go for. If we want to get into Europe, of course we do. But we've got to go for the league and the cup, so we've got to get back to domestic. You know, we've got to get back to winning in Scotland. That's what it's about. That's what propels you into the Champions League anyway. So it's got to get back to that. We need to get back to dominating in Scotland. That's what we've got to do. European trips and getting to quarter-finals and semi-finals, we got to a final, we never won it. No, so for me it means nothing. You know, I don't even watch it. I've never thought anything about it. I don't even want to think about it. Because in the same in Manchester, as soon as the final whistle went, I was straight out the ground. Because we've not won it. No, I'm not interested in going, well, we got there and we were unlucky. Aye, sounds like the Tartan Army nonsense. No, let's go and party with the away fans. No, we never won they two, you know. So, and we're not winning in the league at the moment. We're not doing it in Scotland and we've not got a good enough squad. So, when they come in, they'll need to get the right manager right in place and we need to get players to put a fight up. Because right now, we're not putting that fight up. And it's plain and simple to see.
You're 100% right, mate. It needs to happen in Scotland before it happens anywhere else.
We need to run a consistency. I mean, it's been stop-start the whole season, mate. You know, if you want me to look at it, I can, and we can judge it and see what. But I mean, over the piece, it's been atrocious. Yeah, we'll maybe see that particular game you were unlucky, but for the season, mate, there's been too many games that you can't play that violin, mate. You just can't play that violin. You've got to take. There might have been individual moments where a refereeing decision particular goes against you, but we can't keep the ball out the net and we don't score enough goals, so it's not a good combination, Jim.
You're right. You're right, because, but again, go back and sit down in every one of the games that we've parked these points away in. Games that we should be doing a lot better in, the South Side say. It's against the Dross at Skillness. And that again, I said there earlier on there, and I'm probably harping on, it's took the attitude more than anything else for me with groups of players. I mean, I seen a few things at the weekend there on some other forums about them going on the bus and the young fans want autographs and they're storming by the fans and all the rest of it. You're right, Southside, man, their attitude's absolute. I'm not going to use the word that I want to use, but
unprofessional. Would that be polite?
Aye, that's it. You're being polite, all right.
Aye. Yes. Aye. Listen, I get it that there's certain players that when you lose a game, they don't want to face people. Some people are like that, you know. But you've got a responsibility to the support at all times. But you can consider the salaries they're all getting, each and every one of them, you know. You've got other responsibilities in your role as a player, you know. But look, this needs root and branch. The manager coming in, I think, has got a bigger job than he realises. You know, unless he's got a magic wand, Southside.
Aye, it's got to be a right massive job. The good thing is we've got a sporting director in, and I'm thinking that most big clubs get a bit of continuity. We've missed one for a while where we let Beale go and pick players and do a system, and then we move on and find out that doesn't work, and then you've come on with Clement, Compton's picked players for a budget, whatever, and then that system, styles, then we're changing it again, formations and styles. We need continuity, you know, and hopefully this guy will come in and he'll know his stuff. If he brings the other guy with him for Everton, fair enough, Prosser. If he comes in, head of the academy, whatever, fine. And then we'll see where that leaves Coppin, whether he's going to be Stein or gone or moving on. But we need to get, it'll be Thelwell's choice, I would imagine. I think that Steiner, Greasing, I can't remember his second name. He's supposedly going to have a role at Ibrox as well, looking at stuff. So candidates and whatever along with him. So they need to get it right to who we bring in, and then we need to have a style, like I keep saying, a style and a play, and then we can fit a team to make that happen, hopefully. Some of these players that have absolutely no tried a leg on Saturday will still be there, and some of them will still be in the squad going forward. And maybe when we've got tactics and a style set by the manager for the off, maybe these players will start to show something going forward. And if no, then we get them out the door when the time is right, and we carry on. But ideally, we really need to have a really good push in Scotland. We really need to get the marker done there, mate. It's just getting too long, and the players have got responsibility to the worldwide support out there. So at the end of the day, hopefully we'll get the right manager, the right fit, and we'll kick on and we'll get some good signings, and we'll see a difference at the start. I expect a few bumps in the road. It'll not all be perfect talks, but at least if we can see progression and see a style of play, and go for there, and everybody will get behind it, and we'll see where it takes us.
Aye. It's, I don't know where I would start. My obvious starting point's a goalkeeper and 2 centre halves. You know, before we do anything, Jim. That's my take on it. That's my starting point.
You're right. A good goalkeeper, two centre halves that can header a ball, as Southside says. But that again, that's been going on for years that we can't win a ball there. There's nobody dominant. I mean, John Shooter at times, man, he looks class, and he just says, like the rest of them, he just goes to pot. The goalkeeper at the weekend, how that boy never scored that goal, by the way, for his pass. Which it was a pass. It's probably a better pass than some of the your own players. But at the top end of the park, Dessers needs to be doing better with holding the ball and getting people in and about him. They can't do the basics.
Mate. It was atrocious, mate. Absolutely atrocious. Did you see him try to kill that ball down the second half and went for a goal kick, mate? Just atrocious.
Aye. You're right, yeah. But some of your boys in our fit team, can do better than that.
Listen, if you throw peanuts up in there, Stevie can kill them on his tie, can't he, Southside?
Aye, listen, our basic control levels and stuff and skill and stuff, it's miles off it. You look at the teams at European level and all that, their first touch and all that's immense. They kill a ball stone dead. They're taking it on the move and on the turn and everything, and we just look lethargic and just pass the ball back all the time and start again and go across the back, and Monday Gio for doing it, and this team's sort of doing it quite a lot, you know, scared to make the forward pass or the run. We need to get mobile players out wide, strong, big, athletic guys. We need to build the team up physically because it's too weak. I mean, you're getting smashed out of the park with St Mirren on Saturday. By physicality, that just proves a point. You know what I mean? Shouldn't be happening. And football's a simple game. Pass and move. You know, 1-2s, get yourself up the park. It's no hard. Show attitude, application, energy into your team. Go and help your teammate out. But none of that on Saturday, and it's been lacking all season in certain games. So all that has to change, and hopefully once this season's done, the new manager will install the right attitude and application into the new players that are coming in. Hopefully they'll not have a problem with it anyway. They'll come in with that right attitude.
If it's physicality and power, you're right, but we also need pace in that team, mate. Yeah, collectively, I think if it was your 11 players and there was a real release, I don't think we'd finish last in the Scottish Premier League. Yeah, but the lack of pace in that team is frightening. And even at the weekend, there's somebody have champion because you had pace. Looked as if he couldn't run Jeffrey. It just doesn't add up. And I can't. I don't know. I think a goalkeeper and 2 centre halves, mate. That's my starting point, Jim. I'm not saying that's all.
Aye, you're right.
No, that's purely, you know.
See regarding the thing about there's no pace. You go like yourself. Diamondi, he's nimble. Raskin's he's nimble. But see the thing that's kind of worrying me about bringing players in. I worry about this wee guy coming in for Dundee. This boy Cameron. I had my fears about that signing when Clement was still there. The reason why I look at it that way, I'm looking at Conor Barron and going, it's not another one, is it?
Well, he's not exactly a giant, He's not exactly a giant, Lyle Cameron, and the other boy that we were linked with Dundee, he's not exactly a giant either. But anyway, we'll come back to that. But that's a good point. You made, mate. Right, Listen, if you could join us 01413561979 after the break, we'll get some new. We're trying out new software as well because things are changing and it's what we use for the show. So somebody, please give us a call so we can make sure everything's working and also get it off your chest. I think of the weekend, the team, the management, or who the new manager's going to be. So, lads, get yourself in mute because we're going to have a tune.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, well, aye. Listen, we're talking about the performance of the team, and we've still got 4 games to go, and the support I think we're on the beach, to coin a phrase, you know, and which is really unusual, you know. I just think they've, how do I put this, without being over dramatic, Southside, I think they've just sickened us with the inconsistencies in the performances.
Aye, certainly sickness, that's what they're doing, mate. I don't mind, I can accept defeat and all that, as I've said. Or you maybe not play well on the day and players turn up and there's one or two you carry as passengers that haven't played well, but this when the whole team just don't show anything at all. That's what sickens you. And Ibrox will be unforgiving for a lot of them. For the ones that will turn up at Wednesday night will certainly test your loyalty. I think we've got a Wednesday night game, haven't we? So that'll probably test a lot of people's loyalty. And some people will go and some people will no go just because it's a meaningless game and travel wise and all that, you know. But I think if the players if they're not showing a better attitude and that, and like I say, I think the support will go into them at Ibrox quite easily.
Listen, I don't like our team historically getting criticised, Jim. I don't like them not getting supported at games, but sometimes in life you get what you deserve, mate.
Aye, I think they've been very, very fortunate. They're a fortunate group of guys. See, when I see the ultra thing in what goes on, the teams in Europe, when their teams are not producing the goods, there's times when I think that this lot are very, very lucky. I mean, we were talking earlier on there, the Guardian, about how we can't trap a ball and how we're looking unfit. We've got probably one of the best facilities in British football. And we're producing what we're producing on that park. The facilities, I mean, where is it going wrong? Is it going wrong for the coaching team? I mean, can they seem to be, every time they're seeing the videos, they're all laughing and joking, they're all buzzing about the park and all the rest of it. Then they go into the park and it's not happening. Attitude more than anything else, either that or just a shower of, you know, the two words that join together. And it's absolutely scandalous. The facilities we've got and what they're getting, the wages a lot, how they get treated, how they get idolised with the fans, and that's how they repay the fans, i.e. guys like Southside who's there every week. And that is, you're right there, Ox. They're scunnered us. They've actually scunnered us. I couldn't tell you the last time where I wasn't too bothered about going to a Rangers and a Celtic game at Ibrox. Honestly, I couldn't tell you the last time where I was so disinterested in going to watch Rangers.
I've definitely took the air out of the balloon. I get that, but we're just looking for this impetus to start, you know. And look, we'll be talking about a lot of stuff after the park, and we've got the executives in place now. Southside, the next big call will be the manager. There's rumours of a decent sponsorship coming in. That seems to be growing arms and legs. Whether there's naming rights for the stadium, I don't know, but that's starting to grow a bit. Attraction, it might not be true, but we'll see where it takes us. So this change of ownership and the job that the new man's got to go is going to be massive. And it's going to be as hard to get rid of some of these players to free up wages. You know, if you take maybe Lawrence and just say Hadji, and I don't want to talk about them as players and all that, but no, they've got ability. You're maybe talking 3 million plus just day two. I know in football terms it's no massive, but for the league that we play in, it's absolutely a mega money. Yeah, the amount of money they're taking out of your budget, and for different reasons, they've not delivered consistently, mate. Then you can throw in all the other ones, and there's young Redfan going to be for the season, mate. Should have never have played in Bilbao, never have played. He wasn't fit, mate. There was no way he should have played. And now he's just a way back. He's whatever the hamstring issue he's had just blown up. And it's so young with hamstrings, mate. I don't know if he'll ever make it back. Everybody thinks he'll leave this summer. Well, he's still got a year to go in his contract. Who's going to buy him? Let's be really honest.
Pay him up. A year left and give him 70% or something and let him go. If you really had to. I think somebody will come in for him, to be honest. I think he'll show some interest somewhere. And we'll get something in from him. I don't see why, if you don't really need to give him away, and I think there will be interest in him, Ox, to be honest. We'll get something. Matondo, he's another waste of space. He's a waste of a jersey, you know.
Add him in, mate, and you're getting close to 5 million.
And that's what I'm saying. That's burning a hole every week, every month out your budget. And the fact is that Hadji and Lawrence will go. It's just down to Matondo. I think he'll end up back. I think he'll just be back. But maybe somebody will show an interest in him. And we can get him moved on as well. And like you say, you'll save that amount of money. You can add that into your budget. And there'll be others. John Suter was getting offered a contract. That's probably stalled. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. And as for the rest of them, unless people come in for bids, we might be stuck with some. I'd like to thank Bijrami. If the new manager doesn't fancy him, when he looks at the squad and for what he's produced, but it'll be a clean slate for them all at the start of the next season, the ones that are left. But I think if I was maybe getting a bid in for him, I'd quite happily take the money for him as well. And I wouldn't be paying anywhere near £5, £6 or £7 million for Czerny. So I think I'd blow that one out the water and save that amount of money on him. Because we need somebody that's going to turn up and play 50, at least maybe, hopefully, play about 55 games a season easy. And he's all right, but he'll not play him at that amount of games. So, you know, he's been out and missing, come half early, rested, felt tired. I just think, I wouldn't be shelling out that amount of money for Czerny, if I'm honest. And then give him a 3 or 4 year deal. Nah.
Can I maybe add a couple of points?
1 minute, Jim. One minute.
Sorry, big man.
No problem, Jim. I'll come right back to you. Davey, give us a call back, mate. Give us a call back. The lads just didn't catch your phone right back, Davey. On you go, Jim boy.
Sorry there, Rox. A couple of points. I'd like to add 2 or 3 added in there and all. What about the Birmingham crew? How much money are we going to take after this one? Because they've just won promotion. I take it to the Championship. And see on another point for maybe some of the callers and the guys in the YouTube chat and that. How would they feel about Ibrox being renamed? How do the guys out there who are listening on the outside and no talking like us, give a wee call in and give your thoughts on the renaming rights to Ibrox and how you would feel about it?
What would you call it, Jim?
It would always be Ibrox to me, regardless whether it's the Electricity Stadium or whatever else. It's always going to be Ibrox to me.
I don't disagree. Southside?
It'll always be Ibrox. If they do naming rights for it and it generates money. Never used to like the idea of it, but listen, it's Ibrox Stadium. If they want to change that or they want to change Jock and Heavy and call it something else, then I'm not that fussed, to be honest, Ox, anymore. You know, I think we've got somebody on call.
Yeah, we have. Evening.
Oh, you speaking? I don't know what to say. It's been a while since I've been on, guys, you know. Good evening, anyway, guys. It's a pleasure speaking to you all again.
How we doing, David boy? How we doing?
Yeah, it's been hard going. I just got when I think I text you about the time of it, I said when it came the Queen's Park result, I just never recovered for that. But to get back to where we are now, we just got to grin and bear it now. It's something takes over. The comments you've been talking about, you've been spot on, suicide spot on, so Jim, yourself as well. But I think this is a thing that becomes, conversation becomes repetitious, and we don't just see any light at the end of the tunnel. But hopefully, hopefully that's going to change. But we just need to wait and see. But if we could just take all that team to what Suicide was saying, it tears the heart out of me to see a team like that. And what Suicide was saying about the effort and that, everybody can see that. And that, I think, the thing that hurts everybody. If you go out there and you play for that shirt and you give everything, then you've got something you say, well, at least they tried. And that hasn't been happening. That's just not been happening. I lost the will to speak about it, actually. I thought I'd come on and give you a laugh tonight.
Listen, we understand, Davey. I mean, because you know us well enough, mate, to know that we might come on here and we put on a front. Doesn't mean we're no angry, hurting, raging, mad. Yeah, you know us that fair, mate. We're different characters. We're not as nice, are we?
Well, the thing was, I was getting to a point where I'm saying, if I go on the show tonight, I'm just going to keep repeating myself. And I was getting a bit down with that. It's because you don't want to be, you want to try and talk about some decent, and it wasn't there. There was nothing there that would lift you up.
Make things up. You can't make things up there. You can't make things up there. Yeah, we'll look at the positive. And we'll say that he had a good game, and you go back to the Boyle game, you can spin it. We can say we should have 2 penalty kicks. That's right, we should have done, but we still never played, mate. And we know that we were miles off it.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking regarding the game at the weekend, see that proper. I just, that guy does my nothing. That was never a Rangers centre half in his pup. I mean, you could go quite a few of them and say that about him. That he's an imposter, an absolutely imposter. And if we don't get that kind of stuff sorted, we've got nowhere. And hopefully that'll not be the case. But you nailed it when you were saying that we've got to get a lot of them away. And that's going to be the hardest thing, I think, is getting them out the door.
I think so. South side too. Listen, I'll be real honest with you. Big man's a mate of mine. He's no one for digging out individual players. You know, it's no his style. But I'll let him ask what you said about Robin proper. Get his take on it, because he usually looks for positives in other players. South side.
It was very good, Davey, on Saturday. Probably one of his worst games that I've seen him. He was sort of all over the place. None of them could really win a header. I think Suter won 2. But Big Proper was going up to try to win the ball. Big Ian was just winning balls all day long against him, against Enciala, and a lot of the times against Suter as well, who were weak. I think in some games he's looked all right, he's played all right, but on Saturday he wasn't great at all. Really, really, really poor. When you're looking for one of your centre backs to stand out when Enciala's gave away the first goal, put into an area in the box where he shouldn't have. Should have headed out the park, as we spoke about earlier. But no, big Proper. I think he'll probably go back in the summer, Davey. I think he's markable back there. I think probably he will go back. If an offer comes in, I think he'll probably go back. And we'll have to rebuild. We'll need to get centre backs in, as we've spoke about. Need players all over the park, Davey, to help ones that will be there. Good to hear you on anyway. Good to hear for you. But that's what it is, mate. You just get frustrated now. We all pay good money for the ones that went and managed to get tickets to go along on Saturday, and you just see that performance as if the players just weren't really that bothered. They're getting beat second best all over the park, and it was happening for the full game. It never changed in the second half, Davey, and that's just what bursts my thing, man. Just tease me right off, mate. Rips my knitting, mate. Rips my knitting. It's about the politest way of putting it.
Well, there was a point that Jim was talking about, the likes of when he was mentioning the likes of yourself, Stevie, and all the guys who just shoot the door, go here, go there, no matter what. That's the bit that hurts me. You know, when I go, look at that support and look at that, what they're trying to get, watching. That just, I mean, I'm watching all cup finals in 1966 just to try and cheer me up. And that's sad, but that's just where I am at the moment.
I'm taking Wendy Cleaner chucked it, Davy.
No, she's getting 2 boxes of Maltesers a day now. She's up the ante a wee bit.
I heard she chucked it because she wasn't getting any job satisfaction. That's what I heard, but I'm not one for spending numbers.
Oh, God.
the Maltesers. Right, listen, Davey. Just new to the show myself here, mate. Great call. Asked a wee question earlier on there, Davey. What would your views be on the renaming of the stadium, Davey? Obviously, you're one of the old school, as they call it. How would your view on that be, Davey, if it brought extra revenue into the club?
Well, it depends on what the revenue would be, Jim, If money talks in all departments, But yeah, we're going to be if this takeover comes through, we're still going to be restricted to what they can put into their club, because I think there's a what's it called, Docs, again, that fair play thing.
Aye, there is, mate. But obviously, there's way you can do it. You can front load it.
Yeah.
But
the problem is what you were saying is getting them out the door.
The players.
That's a bigger problem, I think.
They're taking big wages and no contributing nothing. Would you accept the Nestle Malteser Stadium, Davy?
Oh, yeah, I'm never going to live that down, I probably would. If they were going to use 100 million, I would take it for a minute. No, but we've got, it's trying to keep our chins up. I mean, see everybody's in the same boat that supports the Bears. But I mean, the man that threw me under the bus, I've said before, was the Queen's Park one. I've still not recovered to that. But you move on, but that's hard to move on, Because that was a blow. I've been doing Berwick Rangers and a lot of other different results, but that was a pitch. But that's in the past, so hopefully get this sorted, get the deal done, take it to there. Who comes in? Don't know. It'll not be Ferguson anyway. I'm not against Barry Ferguson, but he's just, if he can't get a tune out of that mob, nobody could get a tune out of that mob. Not that. I mean, we're talking about it a couple of conversations ago about attitude. I agree with that to a point, but I still say you've got to have the ability and the skill, and we haven't got that. You get it maybe with 2 or 3 players, 10 minutes, then they disappear. Another 10 minutes disappear. You need somebody who's going to give you 90 minutes and a bit extra, and we just don't have that on the park at the moment.
We're short of pace, Davey. We're short of ability. We're short of power. We're short of leadership. We're short everywhere, mate. If we're really honest, we can't dress it up. We would be insulting to the people that's listening if we try to put a spin on it, because they see it the same as we see it. Yeah. Jim, in you come, and then back to Southside.
It's pretty frustrating. Again, David, I'm still going on the attitude thing more than anything else. They don't become professional football players when they've no got it. They've showed in patches. Again, patches aren't good enough for us. It's got to be every week. I'm still putting this down to attitude more than anything else.
I agree with you there, Jim, but I still think you've got to have talent. You can have all the attitude you've got, but if you've not got the ability to play in that game with other good players, you can have all the attitude in the world, but if you can't play the game, if you understand what I'm saying, but it's just says we need decent players. But that's where we've let ourselves down with some of the buys that we've taken in. I mean, Barjani, man, that does my nut, I don't know.
Just the invisible man, David McCallum. That's what he is.
100%.
just disappears, no. But what you can, we'll take him. You can't deny that he's got a touch. He showed it. We've seen it. We've seen him do things. You know, he's performed in the international stage. You know, he's glimpses. But the consistency and the cojones to play for our team. You know, and people might say, Southside, are we gone too far and wide with the recruitment, and then we're forgetting what we're all about?
You're asking all these players to play a different way. Barry, he's put the intensity up in training, so they're tackling more and stuff a bit harder and physical. Right, we get all that. Maybe players are. I don't know what it is. He didn't even know what it is. You know, we've got to make sure that we've got to get a style and an identity, and it's got to stick like that going forward. And whatever that is, whether you're playing a 4-2-3-1 or you're playing a 4-4-2 with a diamond or whatever it is you want to do, whatever the manager comes in and sets out, as I keep saying, this is the way you'll play. Barry's changed it 5-6 times during games. Players will get confused. They'll not know maybe what they're meant to be doing. You've seen the look in their faces a couple of weeks ago. Right, in Bilbao, right. Seen it straight away. Like, what's happening here? Know what am I meant to be doing? Where am I meant to be? You know, he took the most influential player on the park at the time, Diamondi, and moved him to left back. You know, and took Kilt Entenby hid in the middle of that park. And although we brought on Conor Barron, he was never going to be effective as what Diamondi is, or anywhere near it, because he doesn't have the speed to get up the park. No, he's not that type of player. But maybe the players are struggling with the way we're setting out the system, and they're maybe no understanding it either. I don't know. I'm even looking here for an excuse to how they're not just doing the basics, a pass and move and get yourself up the park. But Davey, we've not got a style of working the ball out for the back. You know, we'll need to have a set while you're playing. You look, I've watched games all weekend and weekends before. Even teams in the Championship have got a style of play. Clement had his gone forward, quick pass and get it out wide, and then let him go and do something. We don't do anything repetitive. We don't do the same things over and over again where you can see it. You've seen Gerrard building a team. You've seen the style. Gio was the same. We done the horseshoe. He had the two wingers and the one striker and all. You knew what he was going to do. Clement had us playing this way. You knew Barry's got us into a back five and whatever else they're meant to function as a midfield. And it's not getting his results. So we'll need to get more players in and a manager with a style and a philosophy of how we're going to play. And until that happens, what we'll see between now and the end of the season is what we've been seeing since the season started, what Rangers are going to turn up in what game.
Yeah.
Well, I've been set a suggestion for the for the stadium naming. So you could have Stevie along with Davey and our own Old School Blue cutting the ribbon, and we could call it Terry's Chocolate Orange Arena.
Oh, that's well, that didn't take much to think that one up, did it? That was brilliant. Lovely. I love it. Send me 3 bars of that. I'll take it tomorrow.
There we go. But that was quite witty. That was quite good, Jim. I liked that, mate. I stole it. He's away looking. Mr. Fox is confident it's going to be the Red Bull. Yeah, he thinks there's a tie-up. Watch this space, you know. They've thrown the money about. But look, you can have all the systems, Southside. You can have all the... Come back to Davey about you can have guys that have got decent ability. You know, you look at the first goal we lost, the centre half didn't heed it. And if you don't do the basics at any level, if you're playing in a park, things will happen against you. Yeah. And we don't, time and time and time again, we're not doing the basics. And you can't blame Salah constantly because the boy's not been in the team. He made an error, he's learning his trade. It's so great that he's doing it in our first team. Raskin didn't go with his runner. You know, that we're just not doing the basics. And you can't say that these two players haven't got ability because we've watched them play. And you say, oh, against Salah, what a second half he had in Bilbao. Then he does that. Raskin, our best player of the season, don't doubt it. But he still switched off. that didn't do the basics. And for whatever reason, we don't do some of the basics time and time and time again. Jim?
Every week, the basics are not getting done. See, going back to saying about the Bilbao game, when the note was put on, the players seemed more puzzled looking at the note than anything else. I mean, I've never seen a Rangers manager in my life putting a note onto a football part of you.
That was good. I like that one.
Usually we just shout instruction on for the side of the park, you know, but I just think the formation and
it was overcomplicated.
We've changed the system up many times this season in the short time he's been in here. And let's be honest, we turned Emir up there. We come back against Marnock, and we went through in penalties against Fenerbahce. And apart from that, the rest of the teams have came in either abilities off the park physically. We've gave away a few sloppy goals here or there, but most of the time we've not been on it. And I don't know whether it's just tactically since they've come in that it's just got worse. And the teams that are coming are better set out and know what they're going to do. Put high balls in against us, bullies get in against us physically, and we'll end up conceding at the back. And every team's coming and banging 2 goals by his own average. So there's something no right. It's how we're set up, and I think since we went to the back 5, it's got worse, to be perfectly honest. But that is what it is, and it's just about attitude. And like you say, I heard AK saying they're on the beach. Well, for the rest of the support that's gone to Ibrox in the next three games in the away game against Hibs, we're not on the beach. You know, so it's time to get their finger out. We'll see what the attitude and application has come this weekend. I'm sure it should be all right, but you never know, do you, with this team?
And that's the trouble, I think, Southside. I don't think you can turn that off and on. You know, you've heard people say that for years. You're winning a game 2-0, you get in the gears, you can't turn that off. I think once you turn that off, you're trying to go up and down gears, and with attitude, mate, I don't think you can. I think I'm not expecting it to be just because we're playing certain teams for this team to be right up for it, because once it's gone, it's gone. And we need change. We need people at the door, away from the dressing room. There might be other key people in there that we don't know that just are going to have to move, mate, because they're not a good fits. People might say that they've maybe been at the club too long. Some of them might be new players, but whoever it is, there's something wrong in there, and it needs a root and branch clear out. Davey, then Jim.
You're spot on, Oaks. Everything you said there was spot on. But I think when you're looking for the consistency, we just haven't got that. I mean, I heard you mentioning over the last 2 or 4 or 5 shows, different players. Jeffy, where's he went? Proper, where's he went? This is been Achilles' heel. They were looking quite up for it sometimes, but the next time on Saturday it was embarrassing. You know, I just felt, how does he get these wages for that kind of performance? It was just gutless, heartless, and you know, until that gets rectified, I don't think we're going anywhere. But hopefully that all gets sorted out. Whatever we get, but it's got to be the right time. Whether we get that, we don't know, but hopefully we do.
I don't know where you really go with this.
No, it needs to be wrapped up, Jim. This squad's done, mate.
Aye?
Done.
I think they're done. And I think this weekend could be the most unforgiving, I think, for them. But it could be done. That's the big worry about this Saturday. It's all right saying, we can lift it. They're just going to make themselves look absolute stupid if they do lift it and produce another game against them. Because it'll just make it even more and more and more and more for the fans. That, wow, man, if they can. 3 out of 4 games, turning them out and winning absolutely hee-haw.
I can't argue with you, mate. I can usually, Southside, we can usually put up a defence and argument. We can come back with ABC or whatever, but it's very, they're gone, mate. We've no pace, we've no leadership, and that's all of the part, mate. That's not just a direct pop at Tav because he'll be the guy who'll carry the can. I don't think Tav's were worst players, or he's the biggest problem. Now, he might be the biggest problem in the dressing room. We're no party to that. You know, it could be that. We don't know. Or it might just be he's too nice. You know, so he's not a natural leader. He tries to lead by example. You can see that in his history at Rangers. He tries to be athletic, but he's gone. He's lost half a yard, maybe even a yard. And his best years are behind him, so he can't turn back time, as Cher says. You know, so everybody needs a root and branch, and it has to start quick. No, we can't do nothing until the season's finished, and we'll hopefully get word on who the manager's going to be, and we start getting a plan, and we can see going forward. Don't know when they'll announce that. I don't know if that'll be the end of the season. Then everybody's on holiday for 2 weeks, but whoever's coming in, I think they should be on holiday this now and ready to roll as soon as the season finishes. Southside.
I'd like to hope they're quite far down the road with that, or maybe broke it down to 2 or 3 candidates, or if we've got one picked, fair enough, but something will need to be done quickly. Captain Saturday, okay, you should try and lead by example. There was a bit of arguing amongst all the players. When the first goal went in, I think they were all just looking at Enciala because it came off him. But collectively, they weren't good as a team or a unit, and that's just that. And if your manager can't get them to respond on the side of the park, then it's down to the players all collectively. And at the end of the day, we've all got long memories when we watch these players. I can remember the ones that done it to us at St Johnstone when the Union Bears waited for them coming out, and they had to come out and apologise, and Tav and all that was there, because that day they were absolutely disgusting to a man again. And we don't, we watch it and they'll get away with it for so long, but they'll certainly get reminded of it, or else hopefully they'll get them out the door. New managers critical, Oaks, we need to get away of how it's going to be and everything that goes with it. And that's the only thing we've got to look forward to. And some of these players, I'd hope, will buck their ideas up before the end of the season and put a performance in while they're wearing that jersey. Otherwise, hopefully, they'll get hunted right out the door. And that'll be it. But listen, we'll get money in for Dessers. We'll get money in for probably Dowell and Davis. Maybe something on Matondo. Wouldn't hold breath on that. And then if somebody wants to come in and take John Suter, or somebody wants to come in for Yefty or anybody else, then that price will be available. And if it gives more than the kitty, then so be it. Because at the end of the day, these players are failed, and that's the way you look at it. They're failed.
Yeah, who's out of contract? Hadji, Tom Lawrence, Balogun. Is that it?
Again, every players.
On you go, Jim.
Sorry again. If 3 players going to walk away, who possibly there could have been a fee. Another 3 players. That's another fee added to the other list. See, on another wee point, I think I seen somewhere on another forum a day regarding the captain. Even though he's how bad a season he said, I think he's the 3rd best player in the league for assists. Did I see right? Ops, aye.
I would have been surprised, mate.
And to me, that just shows you how poor, i.e. Czerny and whoever else he's been playing wide and all the rest of it, when your fullback and your captain is leading the 3rd best in the country again with assists. All right, he's going to be anywhere near.
Czerny's only made 2 goals this season. He's only got 2 assists, mate.
Criminal.
Listen, I told you it's a bad combination. We can't keep them out of net, and we don't score enough goals for the piece, Davey.
Aye, yes, definitely. It's just a total rip up and start again. And we keep repeating myself and be repetitious. regarding that. But unfortunately, it is what it is. And that is why I think, as Sue Side was saying, they must have some candidates lined up, but they have to he'll need to get a guarantee that he's going to get enough finance to change that squad. And hopefully that will come if this deal goes through. And maybe if they get enough capital, they can get enough money to get these guys contracts off the books. So it's all up for, it's something to look forward to as far as I'm concerned, because it can't get any worse. It just can't. It just can't.
When I thought about it over the weekend, it reminded me a lot of when Murty was there before Stevie G came in. I wonder if, because my mind was thinking, is that an omen? But Mr. Fox has come up with a point there, Southside. I'll take it to you. Has the conversation started? Who's wanted? Who's not wanted? And people just, oh well, fair enough. I'm just going to try and get to the end of May, and then I'm going to have to look for another club. There was rumours that happened before the Dundee game last year when we drew nothing each. There's Dundee / Ross County games, mate. That arguably cost us the league. So I'm not saying there are no jury conversations, but has that happened?
I don't think so, no. I think it'll be down to the new manager. I think the ones that know they're gone inside their own heads, like Lawrence, I think knows he's not going to be there and his contract's up. He didn't re-sign when it was offered. Hadji, no matter what he says, I believe I wouldn't keep Hadji. I've liked Hadji in spells when he's been here and all that, but I wouldn't keep Hadji. And for him gone, and if you're saving, like you say, roughly, to say a figure of £3 million in wages, then that goes into the kitty. So I don't think that conversation has took place. No, I don't think it could either, to be perfectly honest. Maybe Barry shouted it a few times in the dressing rooms, you'll no be here, whatever, but don't see it coming from higher up at the moment, Ox. I just think the ones that are out of contract will know that they'll be surplus to requirements. They'll go and find a new club.
Yeah, but the trouble is, mate, that some of the people we've got, and we see it all the time, Jim, it seems to be a common theme, and we don't get the contracts like, right, they're on such heavy wages for the performances they put out. Nobody's going to give them their wages. So then they're trying to cut a deal, so we have to pay some of it, or they just sit, and it just drains us, mate. And then you've got the injuries. Just take, no offence to Hadji the Badging, and fair play to the boy for coming back. Park him. Look at this year again. We've had Lawrence. We've had Ridfan. Yeah, constantly. Yeah, they're on big money for Scottish football, the two of them. Never fit, mate. Never fit. Yeah? Jim.
You're right. I think there's a few of them. I heard that the boy Sterling and all, that's where the injury came for the other week there when we touched it on earlier on about people playing through injuries. But another one, by the way, that I found it staggering is that the big Dutch boy is back in there training again. The one that done his knee when he was away with his international club. But I'm just hoping that there's no another one of these mad options to buy things tied in, which we didn't know. Because this the way these contracts have been getting dished out, nothing would surprise you with Rangers. And it needs sorted, and it needs sorted for once and for all. And here, let's just hope that these guys, when and if they do come in, have got a bit of business acumen about them. And this carry on gets sorted out. I mean, I think I've seen a bit on one of the forums there that I think there's a couple of them at the Leeds game tonight. A couple of the guys that's been pretty prominent at our games, they're at Leeds tonight. So, but hopefully this takeover thing gets moving quicker than we actually hope.
Well, I hope so. I mean, we're not into May yet. We did hear that the start of May, but these things seem to take longer than we've hoped for. I think at one time it looked like the end of April, but we're pretty much there. So, but Well, it could happen any day now, but it's no, the manager's then got to come in, and then nothing's going to happen till the season finishes because you've got to get other players and start recruiting Southside, unless they've got players who are lined up who are contracted, and you can go and sign them ASAP.
Well, surely Cotton would have a list of players. You would imagine that we might have had in the background that we'd look to sign, and maybe now we can up the shopping market list to other players that would have been on his radar that maybe we weren't financially be able to get. So I'd like to think that he's got some input into this and all when he sits down and talks with Thelwell and he goes through players. I don't know if it's going to be Thelwell's job, it's going to be going and sort of directing players or no. It might be him to a degree. Seemingly done a bit of it at Everton, but I don't know if he was solely responsible or no. But I'd like to think Neil Scotland would have a shopping list at Oxford, you know?
Yes and no, mate. It's his job to be constantly looking to recruit. And then the new manager, it depends what he's bringing in. If you're bringing in a manager who's got naysaying players, is that your model? Or is the new manager going to say, I don't want him, I don't want him, I don't want him, I don't want Jim, I don't want Southside, I don't want Davy, but I'll take Ox. Yeah?
Going for the booby prize, then,
Of course, mate. Of course. You know that Davy's a booby man. Right, listen, the manager's going to be the key because he's got to join it all together, Jim. Yeah, and listen, they always don't get players. They don't get every player they want. The manager does. Even Guardiola doesn't get every player he wants, and that's the nature of the job. But our recruitment and contracts have to be better and smarter. We have to be smarter. You know, if you think about it, Dessers has still got 2 years of his contract. So where was the sell on thinking? Where was it? And if it didn't work out, you were left with him. Yeah. You know, and by the way, the point you make, if you throw Sterling in there, Sterling, Lawrence and Yilmaz, how often have they been fit? In fact, I'm going to look and see how often they three have played together. I've been in the one Rangers team at any one time. Yeah, I'll look at Tom Lawrence and I'll see how many times he's played with Yilmaz and Sterling. Yeah, there you go. That'll be interesting, yeah. But recruitment, the manager's the key for me because he doesn't tell you who you're going to get, budgets and contracts, and you've got to get them in the door. As you say, Southside, you've been saying for years, you don't always get your first choice. Yeah, but you then they've got to work with them. They're an important jump.
Aye. It's got to be the manager. But again, we're talking about do you trust Clough? Do you trust him? When we look what we've actually got just now. See the thing I see also there mentioning about when us being past the Leeds transfer thing. Why should we be getting past anything for Leeds or vice versa? We're a total separate entity, even though we're probably going to be bought over with the same guys. I don't want any Leeds cast-offs. I want players that want to play for Rangers, not because they can't get a game for Leeds United. That's my point on it.
I think it comes down to where we go and do our recruitment. So I think that's what we've got to look at, about where we're going to be shopping. Are we going to go? Are we going to try Scandinavia or something like that, maybe for a couple of players? Are we going to keep going further afield and bringing in these young prospects that we're hoping to turn into players? Or are you going to go and try and get guys between 24 and 26 that should be more or less ready-made and looking to go and maybe even achieve something before they've came to us?
Yeah, I get it, mate. But the projects, are you going to compete in the league with a load of projects, mate? You're going to have a core. You're going to have to work for the back goalkeeper, 2 centre halves, and then see what you need in the fullback areas, and then you're into midfield when you need pace and power. we definitely need another striker, and you got to play with two up top, with no wide men, absolutely no wide men. So you're going to need about 6 first team starters, and that's without the rest, Davy.
Aye, well, at the moment it's all speculation. Everything that we're talking about is speculation. So till we get something that comes out, it's concrete regarding I, E, O, B, C, whatever it is, get it on the table, get the manager sorted out, and I'm quietly confident that that's all getting taken care of. I would be terrified to even think that that's not even an advanced stage. And you hear all the rumours, because that's only rumours. But it's a concrete, it's a cert that this deal's going to go through. And then you take it from there, see what the guys are, they're the same, they're not going to start telling you what's on the table till it happens. Once it happens, we'll have a better idea to be able to comment on it. And then we'll have an idea who the manager, we should know by then, the manager, we should know, he'll know what he's got to spend, where he's going to buy, where he wants to buy, and hopefully we get it right. We get it right. And I'm not saying we've got to get it right this time. If it doesn't, well, we'll get it right the next time. I know suicide's no work for that, but I'm Rangers till I die, and I've been through a lot of miserable times and bad times, but my heart's always with the Gers. So you've got to look that good times will come back, and I'm quietly confident it's going to happen. It's not going to happen right away, but...
Jim, getting back to your point about players and that, I've just looked at Tom Lawrence. He started 8 games with, this is just starts, it's no substitute appearances. He started 8 games with Dijon Sterling and 13 with Yilmaz together. Yeah. So Lawrence is
Tom Lawrence at times actually, I thought he actually done no bad. Again,
we're showing
he's another one.
but you're not. They're no good
You're
sitting
right
in
there
the
about
stand, mate.
I know. There's none of them no good to sitting in the stand the way things are going. Or the way things have went.
Yeah, there you go. Yilmaz's ways 3 years, Tom Lawrence's ways 3 years, and they've started together 13 times Southside. Yeah.
Aye. I wonder how many times Matondo started in that time he's been here and all. It's just money that we've shipped out in players that we probably thought, or Michael Beale thought, would have got us somewhere. But it didn't work out, and now he's on a hefty wage. But Tom Lawrence will leave, and Hadji leaves, and Matondo might be the problem. We'll find out in time. It just depends, and we need to get it right in the recruitment side, the right type of player we're going to recruit to the team. And I'm not caring if it's not filled with stars or players. You want if they all work together as a team unit, and we'll need a good strong pool, about 16 players that we can take the odd one out here and there and put one in, and it shouldn't really make a difference to our squad. That's what we need to get in, 16 players that are all fighting for jerseys to get in the team. And then if you're wanting to do the projects, you carry Bailey Rice, you carry Finlay Curtis, McCausland's still there, who most people will say will probably not make it and needs to go, but maybe the new manager will see something different and put him in a position where you might see him, it might work. Who knows? And any of the young boys, maybe the other projects we should carry forward and carry the ones that we've got, like probably Yefty, Ignaman, Raskin, if he doesn't get a bid in from Diamondi, and try and get Cortez into some type of playing time, whether it be the end of this season or the start of next season and pre-season, should they still be there. And that's what we've got to look and build everything else round about that. And we need to build that. We'll need at least 10 players, I think, Ox, to be perfectly honest.
Might even more, mate. Matondo and Lawrence came in at the same time, mate. They've started 5 games together.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah, 5 games. They've obviously played more than that because Matondo's been a sub. I actually started on the pitch at the same time, 5 games together.
Get a
Was
bonnet.
that shocked? Huh?
Aye.
That's a shocker.
They did come in at the same time, didn't they? 3 years ago. No, Giovanni brought in Tom Lawrence, didn't he?
Tom Lawrence, he brought him in when they were in the pre-season, wasn't it? In Portugal, I think it was, wasn't it?
When did Matondo join us? I'll just check that out. Maybe I'm not being fair on the boy, which is hard
I think
to believe.
Gio got him in, all. I think Gio got brought. He didn't bring him in, but I think he came in at his time, did he know?
Exact same time, mate. Yeah.
See regarding the Tom Lawrence one, am I right in saying that he started with a hoosing fire and was it against Hearts right at the touchline with anti-stoppage time? He burst something, remember? And he wasn't seen for months after it, am I right? I think everybody, that man, he probably should have took him out.
He was coming back.
I think it was Hearts,
back. That might have been at Easter Road, mate, where he scored. I can't remember the one that Alfie and John Lundstrom get sent off. I can't remember. But listen, he went out injured, and then he was coming back for the big game and then get injured. Never made it, and really it's just been stop-start since. But when you weigh that up, they two have come in at the same time to be one your playmaker and one your speedy winger, and they've started 5 games together. And again, between the two of them, it'll be close to £3 million. Their wages together, it's frightening, Davey. Absolutely frightening.
Yeah, the only way you can look at it realistically, Ox, it's done and dusted. It's in the past. We've got to take all that, put it in the back burner, get on with the job, or starting it again, see what it's going to take us. Hopefully, the signs are good that we're heading in where we should be going to go. But time will tell. But it's just it's a catch-22 scenario. You don't know what's going to pan out. But I think whatever will pan out will be for our benefit. And I think once it gets a bit more clarity, we'll have a better idea where we're at.
Are you saying you think this is the beginning and the end of this? It's going to improve, or is it the end of the beginning? You coin a phrase.
You've been quoting Churchill.
No, mate. No, I know you were there at El Alamein, mate. So.
And that's what that Stevie man keeps saying. Old Davy, I fought for us in the war. I'm shouting to the wife, hey, do you hear us? Accusing me of being in the war. This is the only war I was was in Barcelona.
He says it was a Boer war, mate, but I said you're quite good company.
Well, my grandfather was in the Boer war. My granddad was in the Boer war.
David, what regiment were you in?
Sorry?
What regiment were you in?
I didn't get that, Jim, sorry.
I said, what regiment were you in?
Oh, what regiment was in? Oh, that would be telling. That would be telling.
I think it might have been the HLI.
Oh, you just took the words right out of my mouth there, Ox. I've just got to say that. Highland Light Infantry. Telling you, 1459.
I know you too well, David, don't I?
Yes, you do that. You're a bad man.
Yes, I know. Right. Anyway, David, great to have you back on tonight.
That's a pleasure, guys. I want to come on.
A rose between two thorns tonight.
Aye, it was. Okay, it was lovely. Chelsea side hopefully gets back in touch with me. I'll get him up for a game of golf. And maybe if we could get all the punters again that all play a wee bit, we could arrange a wee session up in my golf club.
Aye, no bother, mate. No bother. There's a lot
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah,
and thanks for getting back to me. That meant a lot to me. Thanks very much.
No. There was people asking for you, mate. Yeah. Listen, Jim, cheers for the night, mate. Over to you, mate. Last word.
Fantastic. Privilege again to be on with you two guys again. See what you're on about the mock teasers. Is that all Davy the Chocolate Soldier then, aye?
Jim,
Yeah,
don't
wait,
you don't get
Hey,
encouraged with it. Don't let them get into your heat.
Nah, seriously, lad. Really enjoyed it again, right?
Did you see the message, Jim?
We'll go and have a look.
The chocolate. Have a look back. South side, didn't you?
Aye, you know, it was good to be on the night with Jim. And he's broke his duck. He managed to get a caller on the show tonight. So, it was good, old Davy. We've put Alec Black on standby now, so we can call him off now, Davy. Now we know you're about. Yeah, we'll get a game of golf, mate, in the next few weeks. Hopefully, right? We'll sort something out. And we'll get it on the course. But I enjoyed the show as always, mate. It was like a post-mortem tonight, but it's the usual on it.
Aye.
It has to be done. It wasn't good enough. Standards dropped dramatically, and everything else it went, mate, and just disgusted every supporter that was in that stadium and everybody else worldwide. I would imagine with a performance like that, but as always, we'll be back in the weekend to support them as we always do. So thanks for having us on, mate. And as always, there's only one team and one crown.
Yeah. Great to hear from you all, Davey, and of course the one and only Jim in Southside for doing the show. Thanks to they too. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue, who are really working hard behind the scenes, making sure that everything keeps going in Rangers Radio, because there's a lot of technical issues that take a lot of work. So thanks, and I doff my hat to both the gentlemen. Without them, there's no show, and big thanks to everybody involved, to the two guys. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Thanks for listening. We know it's difficult, but never forget this. You're still the people. Take it away, Old School Boy.